Hey guys, we are constantly trying to bring you the most informed, well-educated information that we can possibly boil down and condense down. Now, I've been very lucky the last couple years because I befriended a now tenured professor of exercise science at Cal State Fullerton, Dr. Andy Galpin. And whenever I'm confused or misunderstand or need some clarification on something, I go to Dr. Galpin as a resource. He's, in my view, probably one of the most cutting-edge exercise physiologists out there who's constantly pressing the envelope as far as our advances with understanding human performance, which is obviously something that is very significant to me, the rest of the staff, and ideally all you guys. Now, Dr. Galpin is on the verge of a big discovery about both muscle growth versus muscle death. And I follow him closely, and I'll let him explain a little bit further so you can understand.
I've been studying muscle for about the last 10 years, and where I differ is I try to take it from the gym and from the classroom and from my lab and try to make a story and figure out what's actually happening so that we can change lives. So how is what we're finding in the lab making a difference in the classroom so that you live longer and healthier? And we've come on something very, very recently that we think we've identified a major component of exactly why all of your muscle fibers respond to different types of training. This is going to explain things like why Kenny may grow faster than I do, why my chest muscles, look at those chests, why those things hypertrophy more than, say, a calf muscle. It's actually the same mechanism behind all those answers. And we're really, really, really close to discovering that. But the problem is we need a little bit more funding. We have a grant up right now on this website called ExperimentDotCom. And what this is it's Kickstarter, but for science. We need about $12,000 more in the next week or so, and if we do that, we can do this study. The reason we need your help today, though, is we don't want to have to go the normal funding routes, which is government models that study disease, which is big pharmaceutical or supplement companies, because they always come with a bias or an intent to sell product. The product we want is an answer that matters to you. So that's what we're here today, and I'm so happy to work with Kenny because, in my eyes, if you don't have science that matters, if you can't give it back to the people, then why are you doing it?
And that's one of the cool things about Dr. Galpin is he's constantly thinking about how do coaches like myself, the rest of the staff, how do we integrate that information? I believe that CrossFit has moved the needle in the world of strength and conditioning faster than anything we've ever seen in exercise science, yet there's still a lot of things that we don't understand. Additionally, I think it's also really important, as he kind of understated, that science itself and the development of science is in many ways very imbalanced. In other words, like coming back to your point, Big Pharma will create some of the study funding, as will the government, but just waiting for a grant approval is a year-long process.
Look, the way that we normally fund science is I take a year to write a grant application to submit it to a national governing body to get funds that I ultimately am going to get rejected for anyways. This is why science moves so slow. The beauty of crowdfunding science is it makes it move faster. Folks, this is done in 10 days. I'll get the check in 12 days. The first biopsy I'll put in Kenny's leg to take his muscle sample happens in 13. This is how fast we can make science if we finish this grant. But the way this works is if I don't reach full funding, I get zero. All right, so we've got to make this thing happen. It's got to be done, completed, and we can carry this stuff out.
So if you want to contribute, donate, or make sure that I'm a lab rat for Dr. Galpin, go to ExperimentDotCom /muscle science. We're doing great with helicopters, Billie Jean, if you just heard that, and current restructuring around our building. Nonetheless, some really important stuff is happening, and I thank you guys for tuning in. And again, a little bit of money would go a long way. I personally contributed $500 because I really believe not only in Dr. Galpin, but I believe in science, and I want to know something that isn't tainted by somebody trying to sell me a product. I just want to know. That's it.
But we need it today. We can't wait. Don't wait till tomorrow or the day after. Like I said, if we don't get 100%, we get nothing. This doesn't happen. I don't have the funds, and no one else is going to pay for it. So if this thing fails, it's dead forever.
Last thing, Bill Gates put this thing together to take science back. Pretty straightforward. Let's take science back. Booyah!